It is the Transformers Reactivate 2-pack featuring Bumblebee and Starscream, or Starscream and Bumblebee, whichever way you want to put them in order. Yes, the second 2-pack from a game series that apparently hasn't come out yet. I don't know, I'm not a big gamer person, but of course I love Transformers, so I get even the gamer editions. So we're going to go through this 2-pack, as we did with the Optimus and the Soundwave, and see if these guys are cool to be in your collection with or without the game. Be right back. All right, let's do this thing. So, it's interesting that in these 2-packs they have 2 of my favorite Decepticons and none of my favorite Autobots. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like Bumblebee or Optimus Prime, but they're not the favorite G1s that I have listed. I really want to see a Gamer Edition Tracks. But all right, so the box, which does show them in their modes on the back, shitty piece of paper, and instructions, which will probably come in handy. On the back, weapons, and there they are in their classic versions now. Starscream looks like he's probably considered Voyager size, and Bumblebee's more of a Deluxe size, which makes sense. Optimus Prime in the other 2-pack is more of like a Voyager size, or what they're calling Voyager nowadays, and Soundwave was more of like a Deluxe. Now Starscream, getting him out of this packaging is going to be interesting because he's got wings. Well, I managed to get him out and solve one of the problems with the wings by apparently knocking one off. But it pops back into place easily enough, and now just leaves me to deal with the detritus, no, not the Junkion, that's on my table. If I had a little Roomba that came by and vacuumed all this up, that'd be nice, but it might be insulted that I'm not exactly reviewing him. All right, so there is Starscream, and there's Bumblebee, who also has kind of wings. And of course we have a little piece of paper, which has weapons. And it looks like they have 2 weapons for each bot. These little laser phaser things for Bumblebee. I'm not gonna check the directions to see about putting them in his hand. I think I can figure that much out. Watch, I'll read the direction, they'll be like, no, you attach them here. So he's got those 2 knuckle dusting guns, and Commander Starscream can probably hold his guns in his hand, but he also, of course, has the classic ability to have them on his arms. So there they are. But what is interesting is there are some additional options for his guns. So, woo-hee! And Starscream can hold them in his hand. All right, so last time we went Autobot first. This time we're going to go Decepticon first. Or we're going to say the same and do Voyager first. So, you stay there, dude. So there's Starscream. As I mentioned, you can take his arm weapons and put them in his hand. So he has a handgun instead of an arm gun. You know, it's not the classic look, but I could see him being like, that's it, Megatron, move over there, or I will shoot you with my blasters. How about these jokes? All right, so there he is. He's got heels. Let's put him on the turntable of doom so we can take a look at him from all angles so you can see the heels. But as you can see, he's got this classic Starscream look. I have to say the feet feel a little loose, even with the heels, but we'll see. As you spin him around, you can see he's got the wings and the tail fins on his back, which harkens back to some of the other versions of this character. He's not entirely symmetrical with his coloring because he's got like a black shoulder and a red shoulder and a black wing and a regular wing. I don't know what that's supposed to symbolize. Maybe it's something that happens during the game. But he's got it might be battle damage or something, but he's got one Decepticon symbol on one wing, and he's got the classic orange cockpit. His head is black, not blue or orange or many of the colors that he's had. But he's also sometimes had a black head. You know, not the kind of... Never mind. But yeah, a cool looking figure. And I can see the wings move around and the legs can fall apart if you don't use them right. But one more spin around and let's get to the posability. And I can see he's already got, like, shoulder pads. Very 80s of you, Starscream. All right, posability-wise, let's take a look at the legs. He can do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme. Still waiting for that call from Jean-Claude. It's probably like, I don't care what you do. Now, interestingly, there's this little piece on the top of the legs. If you kick it forward and then you close that can kind of like lock his legs, so be careful of that. I think keeping them open is probably a good idea. He does have some decent ankle swivel tilts, whatever you fucking want to call them. One day I'll just, not swear when I say that. No time soon, though. So he can go into a pretty wide pose. He can kick Wow, that's more than Soundwave could. He can kick really high, but backways he gets caught. It's better than Soundwave's, but he still gets caught by his wings. So very nice. He can do some kung fu fighting. Obviously, he can do a sidekick. He's got these things here that if you want him to, he could have to do kind of like a side front crescent kick type thing. But these things on his hips keep him from doing a normal sidekick straight out. So just be aware of those. I'm not sure what they're for, but I'm sure there's a purpose. Because generally Hasbro doesn't make weird joints unless there's some kind of purpose, unless it's a holdover from a previous design. So he can bend at the knee. Nice. And he's got this little ridge here to really cause somebody pain. He can swivel around. So good posability there. And he can twist all the way around at the waist, so that's nice. Not all Starscreams can do that, especially the G1. Anyways, his arms could go all the way around if you want to bend back his wings or pop them off or angle his arm out in order to do that. But yeah, the shoulder goes all the way around. He can go somewhat out to the side. The shoulders kind of interfere. Bends at the elbow, swivels all the way around. So that's very nice. Head turns all the way around. He does not have a matrix of leadership. Optimus did, but obviously that's not something that Starscream normally possesses. It's not like every Voyager one gets a matrix. That'd be really fucking weird. All right, so very nice and posable, classic look. You can swivel his arm and have him do the classic over the top, not like over the top, because he can be over the top, but over the top gun on his arm. Ooh, his fists don't twist. Optimus in the last one, his fists did twist, but Starscreams do not. It looks like there's a peg there. They probably fold in for the transformation. So it's a nice thing when you can have it, but you can't always have it. Now his back can press it into place, but it can pop out relatively easily. Not like by wiggling it, but if you tap it, it can pop out. So just be aware of that. All right, so there is Starscream in his robot mode. Now, as I did in the last one, we'll do his vehicle mode after we look at Bumblebee and his robot mode. So there's Bumblebee. He does have his two guns here. You can also take them, and he kind of is borrowing from his pals like Blue Streak and Smokescreen and the Toy Prowl. And you can put him on his shoulders, so he can just be like, what I see is what I shoot. And apparently, for storage, if he wants to use his hand, they can be plugged somehow, that looks weird, into the back of his arm. Yeah, not the best weapon storage, guys. Like wrist sheaths, or maybe it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what the instructions seem to show. It kind of shows them higher, but that doesn't work either, so I wouldn't store him back there. Just put him on his shoulders if you want his hands free. That way he can still shoot. All right, but let's put him on the turntable of doom and take a look at him all over. Don't be self-conscious, it's fine. So, a very classic Bumblebee look. I do like the Autobot symbol on his chest, and the face is very much G1-like. It's, well, not G1 toy, because that was like almost an Optimus face, but G1 cartoonish-like. He's got neat shoulder pads. He's got these little wings that are part of the vehicle, I imagine. The back part reminds me a little bit of the Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron versions. And he's got all his wheels on his legs. And you can see he's got heels for stability. So overall, a cool looking bot. Not a ton of kibble, but some, as most Transformers are bound to have something. All right, posability time. Unlike Soundwave, he can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. However, the wheels make it very difficult for him to stay this way. But maybe he could do like push-ups while doing a split, you know, flexibility and arm strength. You never know. Moving on to the feet, he does have swivels, tilts, so he can have a nice wide, firm stance. He can kick forward somewhat. He's got this little design thing, this little crotch cover, and that keeps him from kicking too high. And the kibble in the back keeps him from going too high in the back. So good side kick, but not a very good front kick, unless he just kind of goes off to the side, just like an angle, 45 degrees or so. And bends at the knee. Nice rounded knee. He's not going to cause you extra damage when he needs you in the crotch. Swivels all the way around, so that's a nice thing. Twisting at the waist. He does not. He does not twist at the waist. That's a shame, but he does not have that kind of posability. His arms, if you move the wing out of the way, can go all the way around. And you have wing articulation. You have wing articulation with him too, so. Bends at the elbow, swivels around, can go off to the side. Though the shoulder pad and the little guard for his forearm kind of come together. But it's like he's gliding. There you go. Head goes all the way around. So a poseable and pretty neat guy. Now, putting him next to Starscream, who I just want to point out, you can maneuver his wings a little bit. Maybe if I zoomed out a little bit, you'd see it better. But yeah, you can maneuver the wings a little bit back and forth. You can even pop them out, apparently, but they pop right back in. I imagine it's good if you wanted to, do some kind of battle scene where he lost a wing. You could pop it off and very easily put it back on. And these leg ones actually move back and forth as well. Kind of like them back. They're kind of cool. So there they are size-wise, fighting. I'm sorry, Bumblebee, I left your weapons. Just punch him. Don't punch me, not the face. I'm going to have to be on set tomorrow for Megatron's Bad Comedy. All right, so very neat robot modes. I like them. They're very homage-y. I am very curious to find out the story about Starscream, which it says nothing other than splash damage. I don't know what the splash damage is. But let's put... Oh, wait, I don't want to forget this. Starscream is about 7 inches tall, so Voyager-ish like Optimus. His wingspan is actually a good 7 inches too, so whereas Bumblebee, about 5.5 inches tall, his wingspan about 4 inches. All right, Bumblebee, wait over there. It's time to get Starscream ready for his vehicle close-up. 25 steps. I've seen worse. All right, there is Starscream in his jet mode. And I was incorrect. He does have a Decepticon symbol on his other wing, even though it is colored black. I don't know if it's like primer paint and then they painted over it, had to have a wing replaced, what is going on with that particular coloration change, but it's there. I mean, he's a little asymmetrical like the very popular Armada version of Starscream when he was using a sword. But he's got his guns there, cool looking jet. Transformation again, clever, a little bit different than what you'd expect, though very exacting in some ways. His head is like in his cockpit, which is kind of neat. And yeah, he's a cool jet. I would, throw him across the room, but that's more of the speed of my ability to throw than his aerodynamicism. I don't think he's gonna achieve liftoff. But a cool looking jet. I think I got him well, and if I get all kinds of comments that I did something wrong, then no more unboxings for you. No, correct me please if I'm wrong. Yeah, very cool. Nice blue detailing here. Decepticon symbols on the wings. Classic orange cockpit. Not too kibbly on the bottom. His fists are at least folded away. This isn't like a Cyber Battalion version, but a very cool jet. All right, let's take a look at the Bee, who has 20 steps. Looks a little like an Ostriker. All right, there you have him, Bumblebee in his vehicle mode. He looks like a dune buggy from hell. He's got the nice spoiler here. He's got the Autobot symbol on the front there. Nice little grill up there. Knobby tires. Definitely looks Mad Max-ish. He's got this like metal grate where the windshield would be. Looks like windows on the sides, but it doesn't have to be if he's on Cybertron. I don't know where Reactivate takes place, but he's a pretty cool little vehicle. Roll test. Doesn't roll as good as Soundwave, but he rolls. I've seen worse. I've seen much better. Definitely not G1 level. Cool vehicle. Now, it's not showing me where to put the weapons on in vehicle mode, but I'm assuming, judging by the slots, that you just pop them on the front there and he's a fully armed battle wagon. Something out of Mad Max. Now, obviously, size-wise, Starscream is much bigger, but that's to be expected. He's more the Voyager class, and he's a jet plane, I'm not sure if the proportions are exactly right in comparison with these two types of vehicles in real life, but there you go. Very cool version of Starscream, very cool, kind of, embittered, battle-hardened version of Bumblebee. Battle Bumblebee. So it's a cool set. And, measurements. I almost forgot measurements. Jet Starscream is 8.25 inches tall, approximately. Bumblebee is a little over 4.5. Wingspan is still about 7 inches for Starscream. Width on Bumblebee is about 2.75 inches. height on Bumblebee is about 2 inches, and height on Starscream, well, maybe 1 3/4 inches. Bumblebee's got him a little bit in the height department, in vehicle mode only. But yeah, I really hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm enjoying these toys. And while you are mulling these over, you can actually check out over here a different Gamer Edition Bumblebee versus the Cybertronian Origin Bumblebee. So that's a cool video to check out. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.